This is the let's fight approach and also the let's pick people heroes they want to play.
Yeah, I like it.
That's when he's got a great nature's prophet. He TPs to a lot of objectives very early. He'll just show up randomly at 5 minutes into the game, and you're like, "Why are you here, man? Go hit some creeps top." Like, you know,
He's
fuck
like,
off.
no, I
And he's
must
like,
take
"No."
this. You know that you now used your 1 F-bomb for the whole week.
You used 2 last week, so I'm gonna hold on to that.
Whoa, no one heard the 2.
Any VOD watchers?
Any VOD watches? There was only one. There was only one.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Enigma, wow, guys, hype it up.
I actually can't feel a single shred of joy for Fnatic's like draft right now. I'm actually so mad.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Because it's so boring. This is the most stock standard draft. These guys, like,
They didn't pick Pudge.
if there was an AI that just combined all drafts from the DPC
No
into
way.
one single draft, I actually think Fnatic's draft will currently, like, represent it.
No way.
Yeah way.
No way.
Yeah way.
No way.
Yeah way.
Okay, you want me to hype it up? The best Enigma performance of all time in Dota 2 history was by none other than DJ. Manila Major DJ just absolutely solo carried a game with all his 5-man black holes, and there was never no universe Enigma game came close to that. You know this.
This is a Jabs
man.
Enigma.
It probably is. You're right. But, I mean, it's
But
not,
that's the hype I needed. That was still the hype I needed.
5 seconds remaining.
You're not. You could be right.
Yeah, I'm probably right.
You are probably right.
Like-
I realized segueing into that. I was like, hey,
You know what I want Fnatic to do? I want them to draft the most meta and the most, as Sheep would put it, quote unquote, boring lineup, but then put them all in positions you would never expect them to be in.
That would be funny if it's Wyvern.
So it's like Wyvern,
Wait, carry
carry, Tiny, 5,
short
Puck,
off
4, 3,
four.
Four?
Offlane doesn't matter. Enigma mid.
and then the last one they pick up is either a 3 or a 4 here, and the Puck just goes in the opposite one.
Yeah, it should be offlane Crystal Maiden.
Okay, let's not go too crazy.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh, sorry.
Let's
bro.
reel it back in there.
Okay,
Come on,
alright,
come
I'm
on.
relaxed. I'm relaxed.
Come on, Rubik. I'll play.
Have some Rubik.
Thompson
Let's go
plays that
Polaris.
mid. We could put it offlane, no problem.
Let's get some Rubik going. Yeah, we know we're talking. That's a draft.
Yeah, give it to me, baby.
Dude, if you're Lelouch, you're like,
Yeah, what else have I got to lose?
Turn to
Yeah!
Let's go, LFG.
now we got. This is the Polaris saying, "Fuck it, let's have some fun." And this is a Dota 2 game now.
We out here, baby.
Wow.
It's legit. I mean, it's a decent Rubik game. They don't have
It
anyone to
is.
frontline, but you know they're just gonna be running around casting spells and trying not to feed.
We don't need frontliners.
Steals the curse, steals the black hole.
That's for the last pick. This is the last pick of this will be who's the tankiest hero in Dota?
Centaur, Pudge,
Pudge.
unlimited
Last
tankiness.
pick Pudge.
Yeah.
Last pick
Scaling,
Pudge.
unlimited
No.
tankiness.
Yep.
No.
Free.
No.
Free.
No.
This is why they banned PA,
Pain.
because they know that she has high physical damage against his low armor.
They're banning Viper Necro. They don't carry Tiny here.
Oh my god, they're going carry Pudge.
Carry Pudge. They could be.
They could be
Ooh.
going the
That sounds
Pudge.
pretty good against NP.
No. I don't want to see it. I'll be the voice of the...
Do something wacky. Oh no, Spectre just got banned. I was about to say Spectre. Oh.
Something else wacky, quick.
Something wacky like
Yeah.
a Meepo.
Sven.
You have 50 seconds. Okay, well, not Meepo.
Are
come
they just
on.
gonna pick Lunar again? Like, they're gonna be boring.
It's okay. I would love
I'm
to
not
see more
like
Luna.
super complaining. I'm just maybe they'll just do the exact same thing again. They currently need something to hit some towers, unless this is a tiny carry. This could be a
Could be.
tiny carry.
Yeah.
They could be considering an offlane right now or a pause 4, depending on what they want to do with Enigma.
Dire team pick.
Bristleback, yeah! I was gonna say Bristleback for Polaris, but I was like, no, you wouldn't play that into Wyvern Enigma. But then Fnatic pick it.
Now the Necro
Oh.
and Viper bans make some sense.
Yeah, that's true.
This is back to the pseudo speed run. Like, let's pick some early game. Let's not let this drag too much. They're doing NP carry. We can match that tempo.
Well,
Mhm.
okay, so we have to counter this now because
5
Polaris have nothing to deal with it at all.
What's the
Biggest bristle counter.
They should probably pick a
Viper.
Huskar. Yeah,
Yeah, Viper's banned.
Huskar.
Huskar, and then just get the Ags, and then you just jump him.
I'm down.
You just pop him. Yeah.
Well, it's Pango instead.
Sorry. Okay.
Choose your
Does
Yeah.
Lelouch get to play as Pango again? some mid Pango?
Give it to the boy.
We're gonna
Or
see.
nah, he maybe want to play Rubik. I don't know.
Maybe.
No, it's Jing Rubik. Dude, Jing's a famous Rubik.
Oh, it's never mind. Pango.
Okay.
I think it's mid
All
Coddle
right.
and Jing Rubik.
Interesting where these
We'll
are
see.
lining up. But Aries and John are gonna jump in here. Maybe you guys can give us a little bit more hype, John, on both Fnatic and Polaris for these lineups.
Yeah, look, I like what Fnatic has. I think their lineups are looking really good. Jabs on the Enigma, of course, might be a little bit slower as the Enigma awfully tends to go. For Polaris, they've got the Natsumi Prophets. You guys pointed out something he's been really good on. He learned from the best, learned from Skim in his time in Neon. I just don't know if it's enough. They do have good wave clear though with Nevermind, so maybe they can hold on with the Kotl and the Pangolier here, but it still feels like Fnatic's feeling good here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a Nevermind Pangolier as well. He looked exceptional on this hero through the Pro Series, which they were able to win. I was gonna ask, what's going on? You guys are swearing a lot today. A couple of F-bombs being dropped from everyone. Nats dropped one, Parker's dropped one, Sheep's dropped one.
Okay, I dropped one,
Like,
but it was that one. That one slipped the mind. Okay, that one was genuinely
right.
the filter was dropped for a second because of how much roasting was going on. I forgot I was on broadcast. So that one, you know what? I apologize. I formally apologize.
I don't apologize. I take nothing back.
I
Fuck
will
you.
have a tweet longer going up on my Twitter soon.
Look
Wait,
at the
did you
children.
just why? Wait,
Alexa
okay.
is watching. Come
We're going to
on.
quickly jump in, but before we do, I want to know from everyone, right? I'll go to these two and then we can go. Who's taking first blood? I want hero specific and the time that the first tower is going to go down.
The first blood is going to
I need it quicker. You're
Jing's
taking too
Rubik.
long.
Jing, Rubik.
And then time, quickly.
27 minutes.
27 minutes.
Anyway, Aries, John, you guys can answer that too.
Thank you very much. That we don't even who cares about Parker's answer. We got plenty of time to answer that one, John. I'll let you go first. Who's gonna get first blood? What hero? And when are we gonna get our first tower?
I think DJ gets first blood, first tower by, I want to say 8 minutes 40 seconds. No, about 7 minutes 40 seconds. That's when we'll see first tower, first blood on DJ. Like, he gets the first blood. How about you, Aries? What's your bet?
I think Mr. Who do I think is gonna get first blood? I'll go Armel, and I think that first tower is gonna go down at 8 minutes 29 seconds. I like how we're doing seconds as well. This is something that I've brought up a couple times. You can't just go for the minute mark. You know, we ain't. No, you got to go specific. It's harder to get, but more rewarding when you get it right. So that's what we're all here for.
Absolutely. You know, maybe the panel's right. Maybe we end up with a sleeper fest in the first hour to falls 27 minutes.
Oh boy.
I have no idea if that would happen. That would be one hell of a game. I don't know what either team would be doing with all that time.
That's just, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to happen. I don't think there should ever be a game where that happens with the heroes we have on either side. So, a very interesting draft set in stone for both Fnatic and for Polaris. Polaris, unfortunately, if they do lose this series, they will be guaranteed relegation out of Division 1. So if they lose this map, or if you win it though, you've got one more hope. Of course, you know, a lot needs to continue to go their way, but it's put themselves in a very difficult position. But they do have some comfort here, which is kind of the main thing we were bringing up off the back of the panel. Look at Natsumi, very interesting. What's your read of this top lane? Why do you feel like Natsumi's blocking the Radiance creeps himself?
Maybe wanting to have the lane further out, prevent any forward action for, say, DJ to look for some plays. Of course, this does drag them closer to maybe a toss angle out from DJ, which can be a bit threatening. You don't have a good follow-through from Jabs just yet. That'll take the Malefice to be up, but they're already just tossing around, being annoying. DJ just looking to make that lane a bit slower. This is probably the slowest lane in the game. Jabs is just going to farm. Natsumi more than likely is just going to farm. You can get aggressive with Xavius and DJ, but likelihood is as long as both sides are farming, the supports are also satisfied here.
Yeah, it's a lane where quite often the way to deal with the Nature's Prophet and the Enigma is just having AoE clear. I mean, the Eidolons have magic resistance, the Treants have no armor, so a lot of the time it's going to be physical damage, and well, DJ and Xavier's don't have that capability. So the cores are going to get a lot of farm. I think eventually it'll be easier for Natsumi to make rotations with being able to join other lanes and TP back top if it feels required to defend. So top's a farm fest, mid's a farm fest, like Sheep said. These two are just going to get whatever farm they would ever hope, and I think it's really... any action we're going to see out of Lelouch and Armel is going to come off the back of the power runes.
Yeah, and the support's rotating in perhaps, so that means bot lane's our most exciting lane. You've got John Yuel on Winter Wyvern, Raven on the Bristle, pretty good combination with a Winter Wyvern down the line with a Cold Embrace, gonna feel good. Of course, they are up against Jing on his Rubik and Nevermind on his Pangolier. So some key heroes, some comfort picks for Polaris at very least on the off lane and also on the other lanes as well. But this still feels like a pretty Raven-favored lane. You play with the Arctic Burn slow, you start to play with that Goo and the Quilt Sprays, and there's not much Jing can really do to stop it. He's got the lift back, and that's still a Bristle. No points in the Bristle back yet, so he's still a little bit softer to poke on, but Raven still has a lot of output in these prolonged fights, and Polaris, for the most part, are forced to eat into region. They only have the one salve left on Jing. They did ferry out another set of tangos on Nevermind, but you don't really mind that too much. They at least both have their magic wands up, so getting lots of value from that here at least.
What's your opinion overall about this Bristle back here? I think really starting to see teams put a lot more emphasis on Mr. BB. Do you feel like that is, you know, that people are overvaluing it or undervaluing this hero?
I don't think it's over or undervalued. Maybe slightly undervalued in C, but we do see it as a pocket pick every now and again. It's just super strong, especially when you take care of counters like a Viper that we saw banned out. Can just overtake really easily, has some nice early mid-game spikes that you can play with, and it's ultra durable. You don't have burst at all on Polaris' end, so it's just a really good Bristleback game. I don't think it's over-prioritized in C. Again, slightly under-prioritized, but it's just also very circumstantial. In some games, you might want a bigger flash farming core. You might want a core with much earlier presence compared to the Bristle, much more burst damage, which Bristle doesn't really have.
Yeah, if they're able to make a lot of stacks here for the Bristleback, then it's going to be nice, though. DJ on his tiny boots and windlace already. Oh, not the courier, Mr. Natsumi. Okay, at least we'll be able to micro that away. But yeah, Bristle's a hero that does really thrive on those ancient stacks, so eyes on DJ, and, well, bottom lane, we got our first blood, and it's actually going to be Genuel that finds it.
Yeah, got the wrong support, so no one got that right. I think that was 2 votes for Jing, and you said Armel, I said DJ. No one's right, as is standard for our panel and casts. No one's ever right. Except Fear. He's always right.
Oh, when could Fear never be wrong?
Yes. Exactly. It's still... He is, of course, a TI winner for a reason, but... Polaris, I mean, it's a slower start. I think that's to be expected with these sorts of lineups. They are starting to get aggressive top on jabs, though. Great blocks.
Are they gonna go for the toss back? They are. Oh, just up to the creep wave. Meanwhile, we've got another kill, though. Bottom lane. They get Raven. Yeah, Raven go down.
Yeah, was pretty low in that lane. Doesn't have any source of regen. No Ring of Health either. So it does get taken care of. Great movement out from Polaris to get that done. Evening out the scoreboard just a bit. 1-1, less than 1k lead standing in Polaris' way. They are getting an extremely strong start on Lelouch. I think that's the big difference maker now. Like, it is a farm lane up against Puck, but that farm is going really the Coddle's way, clearing out the camps very nicely. Should lead to some fast optimization. Good save on to Natsumi, as Avis mentioned, get the toss back at the least. Natsumi can always just TP back into the lane as well. Still level 4 in the NP though, so not quite in position to start working the other lanes with a surprise rotation in, and Xavius is forced to back off hard, so in the end you still get a lot of space out for Japs to just farm up and keep that demonic conversion spam going.
I like this item build we're going to be seeing out of Nevermind as well. He's got the Diffuser Blade already queued up. So offlane's going to take a little bit more of the priority this game. It's a very good Diffusal against the Bristleback. I mean, against a Tiny. A lot of the other heroes as well relying on the Menace. Going to give you a little bit more damage to help deal with the Eidolons. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get to that stage and look to ramp up his farm from there. Of course, will take some time. They're going to require him to be a lot of the initiator as well. So hopefully that defusal can help out with kind of picking up his next couple of items afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good if he finds it in a timely manner. Raven's not going to be enjoying that once he's out of mana. At least has the Soul Ring, but it's only good for a couple of spell casts. Again, the slower pace of the game does still feel relatively fine for both sides. You're finding farm in Natsumi, you're finding farm in Jabs, you're finding a hell lot of farm in Lelouch. Travels for the Kotl going to be up relatively soon. Once that is up, maybe we start to see more aggression in the side lanes. Pop in for a cheeky Illuminate, try to go for the kills, get the lift back, could be one way. You're also lining up for the level 6 on Nevermind. So that initiation is going to be available soon. And I think the one thing that's a bit tough for Fnatic is that... Don't.
Davies, he's going to get the dispose back. DJ's in a position though to intercept Lelouch, rotating it, and RML as well with the coil, leashing the Kotl inside the fight. Beautiful read from Fnatic. They had the ward in the jungle, so all the awareness of this rotation, and now Xavius, he's going to be in trouble as well. Doesn't tank the orb damage. RML is going to consider about diving out of the tower. They still have a little bit of the Arctic burn damage to tick over the Marcy. Wait, Nevermind's even got a show up top as well. RML going to be cautious. He's going to jaunt down to the south, the Nevermind hasn't felt the importance of using this Rolling Thunder just yet. Maybe with the Rubik stepping in with the control, Jing trying to get that telekinesis, but will not have an opportunity to do so.
They just find one kill, back off. That's buying a lot of space now for Raven down bot. Natsumi can't really manage that lane, can't even spam out the treants here. Still being aggressive though.
Nevermind with the Rolling Thunder usage. First one of the game. Should be able to get the kill onto DJ. And it's going to be Jing who claims it. So, I mean, it's a very good Rubik game, so you don't really hate with giving him a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah, and giving him some EXP as well. It's still a ways off from that level 6 timing to get some good spells to steal. But still lining up nonetheless. And if he does manage to get something like the Blink Aether Lens, it does feel really good for the Rubik. You have a lot of counterplay up against Fnatic's lineup. And you're still farming up on Natsumi. So things are going well. Raven is invading that triangle just a bit, contesting some of the stacks, but most of that was already cleared out by Lelouch. He's still feeling good. 2-2, a much slower game this time around. Fnatic, again, waiting for some build-up before getting going. And back to my earlier point here, Aries. The one thing for Fnatic is that DJ has not been off for a running start on the Tiny, so the blink timings for that pause 4 are going to be a bit slower as well. And that's the key thing for the Tiny. Yeah, you've got the Tiny puck. You need to catch up to your puck to get that Dream Coil toss back. It's going to be a bit slower for DJ considering the pace, although they will smoke up now.
Dire are scanning.
See where they want to move this on Fnatic. Currently only one hero down bottom. That is Natsumi. So a prize target. They saw him in the lane as well with this observer ward placed. Should be a pretty easy dive as well. They do have multiple TPs. Natsumi's not the tankiest hero to be able to stay alive for that duration. Lelouch has already got a TP down. Blinding Light looking to push them back. They're trying to step in with the toss away to break the coil, but a beautiful usage out of the spell casting. And on the right side, Mel, he was already blown up thanks to the damage coming out. Now they're going to try and turn to Raven next, and look at Lelouch's damage, man. This Keeper of the Light, even without the Spirit Vessel, showing the Bristleback can still be brought down.
And they get a good angle. They force that movement out. Fnatic just looking to play way too far forward, not respecting the TPs in. And suddenly Polaris finds himself with a 2k lead, 2-4 at the 10-minute mark. No towers falling, so looks like everyone was wrong and maybe 20 seconds.
He's beelining it to top. Oh, trying to get the toss. Have to go straight up in the air instead. And now DJ might be in some trouble. Or has enough hastration to be able to work with. Nevermind. Is he going to go for this? Gotta be cautious, my good sir.
Yep. Doesn't quite find. I think Black Hole is ready from Jabs if he wants to go for a play.
Drop the hole! They won't need it. Looks like, oh, maybe they do. Never mind. Not gonna tick out now. Polaris. Motion up to party. They should get the cancel. Xavius. He's already used the dispose though, so nice TP out from Enigma. Honestly, Polaris, their early game, I don't think Fnatic can contest it. At least the Bristle. He's going to have some big issues. Like, you want to go... Hold that thought. They are invading. You've got Black Hole still to play with. I think you have to bring everyone to defend this stack. Well, Raven's already in the neighborhood to do so. Nevermind as well. He's caught out. Shield Crash will make it down at least. Okay, so I've got some big concerns on Raven, how he's going to play this game. I don't think he can go Scepter next item. With the Spirit Vessel, with a lot of the damage that's going to be coming out from the Keeper of the Light as well. So... I'm a bit concerned on Bristle's kind of early game.
Yeah, does feel like he's gonna need something defensive. Maybe a fast BKB. Wouldn't even mind the diversion to just a Hood of Defiance, even just to mitigate that magical burst we're seeing come true from Lelouch into the Eternal Shroud down line could be pretty nice. So we'll see what his decision is. He is clearing out the Ancients as they manage to secure it. Polaris now starting to feel that aggression. 2 to 5. Really ramping up. Gonna lead to a nice timing for Nevermind's Diffusal, and that's when things get really dicey for Raven at least. You're not gonna enjoy that mana burn. You're not gonna have the presence to spam out the Quilt Spray constantly once that's up. And again, you're still buying a ton of room out for Natsumi. Nature's Prophet right behind the Bristleback and farm. Still a bit behind, but you know, it doesn't take too long for the NP to kind of hit that Straddle though.
They're onto DJ. Unleashed along with the Rolling Thunder. DJ should end up going down Lelouch along with Jing. Gonna look to show up to the skirmish, but they won't have the capability to catch anyone else as Fnatic already looking to get out. 3,000 net worth lead though. I think for Polaris, you're really wanting to take these fights down bottom though. To open up the map, this T1 tower is going to be important. Because you do have a global potential. Boot to travel onto the Keeper of the Light, the teleport onto the Nature's Prophet. You want a lot more map to play with just to get this pick off some top lane jabs. They're going to dive the Enigma under the tower. Nothing that they're really worried about. They've got plenty of damage from afar, so the Black Hole, even if they grouped up, it would have been killed off instantly. So there we go, Polaris. Well, they're up to 7 kills already, John. I don't know. This ain't the game one.
Yeah, that's the second win going through from Polaris. Motivation's kicking in. Fnatic are looking for a play though.
The Pingo. DJ for the toss. Does get enough distance to be able to break the coil. Jing's gonna steal the coil. Nice timing though from Armel. Is at least able to get out before the leash. He's still under the ward though. They're gonna refresh the abilities from Jing. Another Fadebot blast. Beautiful prediction. Oh, Armel. That was way too close. Waning Roof just getting out of the blast.
And barely makes it out. And again, Polaris just feeling themselves. They know they can be so fast. They know they've got the burst damage on hand. They've got this great start in Lelouch that they're playing off the back of really well. For Fnatic, it's about a stall game now. You need to stall out for Raven. You've also got a need to stall for jabs. Like, you need some itemization on that Enigma. He's not playing around a Black Hole. He knows there's a threat of a big steal out from Jing. They find more.
Genuel. Gonna get the Marcy mid lane on Armel. Meanwhile, Genuel will not tick out to the Spirit Vessel. Xavius was trying to bring down that T1 tower. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so. Mid is surprisingly low, only 51 health that they're playing with.
You know, it's within deny range now, so they could clear it out, and that could lead to her first tower. Well, I mean, it's a bit closer towards that 23, 27 minute mark, the panel pointed out, so maybe they're right sometimes, but not quite. Diffusal already up on Nevermind as well, so issues abound for Fnatic. Raven's not going to feel comfy there, even to an extent, as you mentioned. DJ's not going to feel great in Tiny. Jabs will not enjoy being burned down by the Swash as well. And that's the signal for Polaris to smoke, just constantly moving as the 3-man unit. As long as they keep getting this aggression, it feels like Fnatic has no room to really farm.
Anyway, good positioning on the Wyvern. Gonna be able to scout this one out. They still have the stolen leash. What are they still? Corn Embrace as well. So a quick and easy kill. It is only on the position 5 Winter Wyvern. They even give the kill to Xavius too. So no one else going to look to claim that one. Meanwhile, though, we see what's happening across the map. Armel shoving in top. They're going to be forced to react to this. DJ and Jabs trying to see if Natsumi is still pushing bottom. But he's already TP'd back towards the triangle.
Just trying to work this map back their way. Fnatic have not been able to find any tier of their own yet. And I want to go back to Raven here, Aries. We talked about that Ags build up. Raven is still queuing up the Ags. So nothing defensive. He just wants to have that presence out with Nasal Goo. Clear out the treants a little bit faster as well. Have a lot of presence, but gonna be a sitting duck without something defensive here. And that is still something Polaris can play against very nicely.
I don't even know if this Scepter is going to be that big of a timing, though, for Bristle. I think they can, without a doubt, kill him through this. Maybe you look... Can they get an objective off the back of it? Like, they can't Roche with a kill. You're going to need a pretty big kill to get the T1 tower top. I feel like you're just looking to maybe hope the Scepter gives you... Of course, it's going to increase the farm a little bit, just make it easier for Raven, but... Yeah, I'm still really looking for a BKB for the Bristol to be that true hero that can just run into the middle and not really give a damn. And it's going to take quite some time. So Polaris have multiple minutes where they can continue to pick up their items.
They've got a lot of time to just keep building up. Natsumi's done great work on the map to kind of catch up ahead of her Bristol now, barely. Lelouch still #1 as well, going for his own fast BKB. You don't have that threat to instantly burst down the Kotl at that point, although...
We're just going to pogo stick in. They haven't been able to blow up the Master just yet. Nevermind's going to look to enter as well with the Rolling Thunder. Look how much damage they're doing from afar. Again, Raven, he doesn't feel safe just to run at the backline, so the supports of Fnatic, they're going to be the first to kill it off. It's a pretty big coil from RML, but still, like, Raven, he can't do anything, man. Spirit Vessel's out, Jab's going to jump in, but they instantly dealt the split away from the Enigma. They might be forced to drop the Black Hole just to get rid of Lelouch, and even Natsumi's still going to show up. Finally, RML gets the kill, but at what cost? Ultra kill for Nevermind. 2 heroes are the only casualties on Polaris, and there's seemingly nothing that Fnatic can do in this early game.
And it's all down to, again, how well Polaris are playing this aggression and to find Johnny well.
Ooh, Natsumi. Yeah, he's going to tip in. A couple of right clicks. They got the ward as well, so no worry about the nighttime. Of course, Jing just yaps that one. I mean, again, it's an incredible Rubik game. He's already got the Aether Lens, so wouldn't hate giving any gold you can. I don't know, man. Polaris, they're looking goddamn good. Like, this could start to get out of control.
I'd say it's already a bit out of control here. Ares 8k lead, 9k lead for Polaris at this point. Fnatic just constantly trying to get their own aggression out, but they don't have the tools to get that done. You know, we haven't been seeing the best verses come out. The Dream Coils have been pretty alright, but just not enough. DJ caught out now as well.
Oh boy, this man just wants his blink. He's got his combo up, surely just use it on the creeps. Get the gold! No!
Yeah,
Oh, they might so... Okay. Natsumi should be dead. Oh, he didn't jump.
No.
Okay.
Nah, they can't. They don't have jump without puck. They've got the blinking jabs, but he's not just going to go blink black hole with a Rubik around. So you're always just conscious about that. On the Enigma, Polaris just have all their bases covered. They had a great counter pick lined up with Jing's Rubik. And then they can just handle the Bristle because of Raven's itemization. Like that full Axis up, the farm pace can kick up. You still need that BKB up and running, and it feels like you're going to need more than just that as well. We don't have any early 4-staffs to deal with the Sprout down the line, especially once that level 20 talent's up for Natsumi at some point. That's going to feel pretty scary. They find DJ again.
Nevermind's really deep. Hesitant about using the Rolling Thunder. With the blast coming down from Lelouch, they won't require the ultimate from Nevermind, but Armel's going to look to jump in. Nevermind protected with the Ag Strider. Hasn't got the roll up just yet. Kind of trying to chase down Armel inside the tree line. They stole the curse. Jing, he chucked him back into the location of the puck so they get the taunt. Nevermind to close the distance to Black Hole. What? They cancel it instantly. Polaris on another level in this second game as the Lucian just running into the middle. They have to TP out into Natsumi, but they haven't dealt with the Keep of the Light. The Lucian's damage is starting to ramp up, and so is Raven's. They wasted the BKB. They're able to get rid of the Spirit Vessel, and finally Fnatic are able to hit back as Raven shows up huge.
Yeah, that was, again, really topsy-turvy, pretty far chase from Fnatic. They managed to get it working their way. I mean, I like what Jabs did. I think he channeled Black Hole, realized Rubik was still around, instantly used his Malefice instead, and just gave that away to the Rubik to ensure no Black Hole turns. So, you know, finding a good angle and realizing it's not quite good enough and doesn't give that opening for Polaris. You're still ahead here as Polaris. 9-19, 7k lead up, but you have to watch when Fnatic starts to find some openings. In these prolonged fights, the Bristleback is king. As the minus armor stacks up, the slow stacks up, the close spray damage is always there. And maxed out Warpath makes his right clicks just insane. BKB for Raven. Off the back of those kills here, Ares not going to be too long. So he's going to be fixing his issues on that Bristle relatively soon. And for Polaris, I mean, they still feel good here. They've got the Silver Edge on Natsumi. They can kind of play around here.
Bottom lane. Jabs. He's gonna be right. Oh, DJ.
Oh.
They're gonna get the toss back out of the tower. Natsumi. Uh-oh. Was looking for a solo kill onto the Enigma. Nevermind's gonna roll in, so they will get him nonetheless, but comes at a bit of a cost. You're happy with that trade. That's a top net worth hero for just a measly Enigma who's got barely any farm. And you take a look at the... Oh, hang on, Raven. He's gone real deep for this farm. Mr. Raven. Got no one behind you, sir. Uh-oh, it's not going to be looking too good for the Bristleback. They'll toss it back into the blast. They just need to make sure they can continue this Spirit Vessel. The Quills are stacking up on Xavier's, but without anyone nearby to protect the Bristle, he will go down.
Yeah, it's a pretty big kill. Raven just trying to rush into that BKB, gets punished for being too far forward. Again, he doesn't have the best ways of mitigating that magic damage coming through just yet. So he's still susceptible to the jump from Polaris. And now you get this big timing for Polaris. Blink up on Jing. He's already had a great game on this Rubik. Now it's going to be even easier to steal big spells for the Blink, and Aether ends up. And Polaris are kind of smoked up with that itemization. So going to be looking for the openings here, knowing that Black Hole's still probably down for a bit longer. And without the big Bristleback to clean up afterwards, this is their opportunity to get some punishment out, perhaps onto Armel if they can catch him out.
At the ward on the cliff. They would have scouted out Armel's out of mana. They're going to require on the roll. Armel needs some assistance. TPs are starting to come through. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough just with these heroes, and it is, but Chanya, wow! A beautiful curse onto 3. Jabs, he doesn't have the black hole though to be able to fall, but they've got DJ jumping in with the combo, tossed further away from where Polaris is set on the high ground. And Fnatic, it comes at a cost in Armel's life, but they do get 2, and another death in a row onto Natsumi. And look at this, John. Quick play from Fnatic. They've smoked up as 3.
Big timing. BKB up on Raven. Much more confident in front line. They are sneaking rush though. Raven just goes into the pit. He's got the damage. It will build up with the goo over time, and they've got a good angle to spot in.
They're gonna get the push. Why not drop the black hole? You can't use it in a team fight against the Rubik. So get the solo kill onto the Coddle instead. Raven gets the kill. 492 gold. And now with him down for 70 seconds, it makes the Roche Pit that much freer.
Oh yeah, not gonna take long now. Side of Polaris, they don't have roll for a little bit longer. They're gonna have it up, but they're on the opposite side of the map. They're not going into the pit. They don't have vision in the area. It's a very risky time for Polaris, as that secondary life on Raven's gonna feel big. Nevermind does poke his head in. Blink is gonna be up along with a roll.
Oh, it's so low. Okay, Raven got the ages at least. The break is out. Bob's a BKB for the first time. Shing just evaporates, and Xavier's, he might evaporate too as Armel soon to join. They get the core to leash, but the damage, it's not going to come through because the ages tick. They're going to lock him in the Sprout, Quelling Blade in the backpack, but it's going to take too long, but it doesn't matter because Armel, who do it by himself. Down to the south as well. The rest of Fnatic, they're looking to deal with Nevermind. Swashbuckle already being used. He can try and shield crash down to the low ground, but the rest of the team soon to be hot in pursuit is Fnatic. They are back into this game.
Yeah, they get a couple of key items. They get the confidence to start looking for pickoffs. 16 to 23 now, 4K lead. Still standing for Polaris, but Fnatic's definitely clawed their way back in here. Yeah, check that graph in game, Aries. It kind of bounced up. Polaris were in a really good spot. Just gave away a few opportunities towards Fnatic, and they just clean up mighty well. And now you have a Bristleback problem. Raven's going straight for the Basher, into the Blink. He knows that with the BKB, he is pretty hard to handle. Even though that break on Natsumi, it's just not quite enough. Again, now you're eyeing Polaris to kind of hit that level 20 on the Nature's Prophet. Play with Leash, kite around Raven. There is a Force Staff on John Yuel, though, so they've got some save for that down the line. I think for Polaris right now, I mean, you still feel good, right? You know you can take these team fights. You know you can find angles. It just felt a little bit too scattered in the Roche Pit. And you did manage to at least have Natsumi deny himself to neutrals. So, you know, no big gold influx for Fnatic, or not as big as it could have been. But that lead is still steadily dropping, and once Fnatic manages to find openings onto those tier 2s, it becomes pretty scary for Polaris. They have to play their counterfights really well, or if they do get the jump in first, they need to find a way to deal with Armel in particular here. He's just too slippery on that puck to be allowed to work that back line.
It's definitely a concern, though, the position they're in now on Polaris. Like, yes, you got the net worth lead, but it just feels like all the momentum is starting to swing into Fnatic's favor. These early game items that were going to help out with dealing with the bristleback is not going to be as much of a concern. You know, maybe you can have that flashy plays coming out from Jing. Again, there are a lot of good abilities to steal, not just the black hole. Multiple other ones that we've seen so far him have some impact on, but Raven has usurped the Nature's Prophet at the top net worth, and now we see how he's looking to play with this level 22 on the bristle. I did like what you mentioned before as well with this Sprout leash. We'll see how that's going to come into play. Really nice control versus the puck, the bristle. Well, speaking about the puck, Jing, the rest of the team's going for a long smoke wraparound, but they are nowhere near to protect the Rubik if a dive occurred under the tower.
Yep, and they could at least cut the creep wave, prevent that push in from Fnatic. Backdoor hasn't quite kicked in for the tier 2, so that should still fall. And it does, but they can't go onto the high ground now. Yeah, at the least they get the creep cut on Polaris to slow down that progression. Fnatic will cut the creep wave off as well. And you're still in a good state of equilibrium.
They're going to get Nevermind top. He's got Ag Shard to be able to use for the coil, but again, it doesn't matter. Jabs is just in with the black hole. More than happy with using it for the solo pickoff. It's a gem as well, actually, so yeah. It feels like a lot of value just dropping the black hole for that.
Yeah, you don't mind. Again, it's like what you said last time we saw that black hole drop, Ares. You don't really want to drop it anyway when in a bigger team fight, because Rubik's always a big threat. So you just go for solo pickoffs with the Enigma, still highly effective then, and slow down that pacing from Polaris. They've lost the lead now. It's less than 1k away of Polaris, 18-23 Fnatic. After going through a really rough early game, we're looking to set up. Satanic fully down on Raven, opts for that instead of the Basher first. 3.4k HP, 17 armor with a back turn around. You are not going to put a dent in him unless you just spam him like 3 uses of Illuminate feels about right. 3, 4 maybe to give a big dent on his HP, and that's not easy to pull off. It's going to take another 1 versus 4 scenario to put Raven down, and that's if you catch him without the BKB up. So he's very well protected now on the bristle, and we're going into that late game scaling. Yes, Polaris has counter fight, but you start to plateau on that Kotl. You can scale on Nature's Prophet, but it does excel more in the split push, as we've seen all throughout the day. And Rubik hasn't been given any opportunities for those turnaround spell steals in these fights. The Fnatic are just not taking these massive 5v5s. They're taking scattered, staggered fights and just ensuring that they can't use that Rubik to its full potential. So, very patient from Fnatic. And Polaris, I mean, they can always play the split push, and we did just see that from SMG earlier today. We'll see how far that split push can take them.
What happens with spider legs and sprouts when you're leashed? You have to walk over them, right? It's not just going to destroy them instantly?
Yes. And yeah, you'd need a Force Staff. You already have Force Staff anyway on Zhao. So I don't think that leash sprout is actually as threatening, because you can always just Force Staff Raven away and he's dandy out of that. So I mean, it's still a big timing for Natsumi if you manage to catch Fnatic kind of scattered a bit too far apart for that. But yeah, and Spider Legs, I guess you could... Can you walk over to... You could probably break the trees, yeah, and I don't know if that actually breaks the damn thing, because it still leashes you, as far as I know. Like, you kind of need to Force Staff out. I'm actually not sure. I don't see that too often.
Yeah, I was just... Because, yeah, like you said, it leashes you, so you can't move, but I didn't know if, like, I don't know if you had to be directly on top of it. There's some weird mechanics. I don't know. Leash is a new one for the Nature's Prophets toolkit. Xavius? He's gonna pop the smoke. He's got Blink, but... Well, that's actually gonna be DJ that's in with the Blink. So poor old Xavius only protected momentarily with the Glimmer Cape. That's not the biggest kill. It's gonna give some time now for the rest of Polaris to try and shove the side lanes in. Lelouch instantly up the top.
Props to Polaris. They're still managing to work the map really well, keeping all the lanes kind of shoved away from their objectives. So kind of keeping Fnatic in check, although
They've run into Natsumi. Wants to pop the BKB. He's going to be able to get out.
Dire's courier
It's
has
pretty
been killed.
big though. Like you need the BKBs on the Nature's Prophet just to be able to feel a little bit more confident to stand your ground and be right clicking. I think another thing to mention is Pango lost his Cory. It was just one component away from the Lincolns. So that's going to be Lincolns not on the Pango for another 2 minutes 30.
Big opening for Fnatic, already shoving in that bot. Still have a lot of push potential with the Enigma. Polaris though are clumped up for a fight here.
DJ's in. Get the combo onto Marcy. It's a lot of damage from afar. Never mind soon to fall up as well. It should be a 1-for-1, but DJ before 3 positions still. Nevermind's gonna slam down the kill. But all right, what more can you get? It's up to Natsumi really just to split the map. He shoved out top, taking the T2 tower. It's gonna cut bottom as well.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower
And they
is
just
under
stall the
attack.
progress of Fnatic. Top lane has to be dealt with now.
Radiant's top tower
Someone
is under
has to
attack.
back off. That will be Jabs.
Dire's bottom
Still find a
tower
tier
has
2.
fallen.
So not the worst thing in the world for Fnatic, equalizing the map. Both teams holding on to their mid-tier 2s as their last point of control. Double damage though, spawning up on the top rune spot. With only a minute to go till Roshan, could be very well timed to pop that into the bottle. Start lining up. Raven has the bottle on hand with him. He's going to be very happy waiting for that next Rosh. And for Polaris, taking a fight in that pit is pretty tough. Unless they manage to steal a good spell or just get perfect timing on the roll from Nevermind. It does feel like Fnatic's threat in that pit with Curse with Black Hole is maybe a little bit bigger, along with that Dream Coil as well.
Definitely a scary fight for Polaris to take. Don't have any vision around that neighborhood just yet. They're going to look to try and smoke us forward to enter, but Fnatic, they're somewhat set up. Armel in a position where they can pop the smoke with the ward. He wants to jump in. Yeah, he's going to do... Oh, you got to get out, man. Raven's got a DD. You can't fight the Bristleback. Not with all the damage he's going to be outputting, but Nevermind, he feels otherwise. He's looking to jump in, but again, the combo from Nevermind, he's stuck. What does he do?
Oh, boy.
And
Oh,
Raven's just
no.
going to move forward. BKB Abyssal out a couple of swings on the club. Oh, you hate to see it. Now Armel as well runs into Xavius. Defensive use of the telekinesis. Wasn't expecting that from Armel, so this coil now expended.
Is under attack.
Yeah. It's opening for Roshan though. Like you didn't pop too many big spells there on Fnatic's end. You know, Rolling Thunder's down, Pangolier's down for a little bit longer, so the Rosh is open. No time on that DD left, but the Raven will get started anyway on Rosh number 2. Free Ag Shard to be picked up as well. Very nice for Raven to have with a hairball, and is going to have his blink up in short time as well. Polaris, and it's getting pretty tough. They need to contest the Rosh. They can't afford to give it away for free, but without the Pangolier buyback, it doesn't feel like they have too much presence in there.
Roshan has fallen to the radiant.
There you go. Aghanim's, sorry, the Aegis and the Ag Shard onto Raven. I believe that's also enough gold for the Lincolns on Jab, so he can feel a little bit more confident to jump into the middle of these fights with that black hole.
Yeah. It's getting scary. This is where the scaling kicks in for the Enigma. Even the Bristleback scaling is still pretty damn good. Doesn't feel like we've just seen the presence of Natsu in these fights. He's much more focused on the objective game. Again, as we saw in the SMG match versus Talon, you can do a lot, but if you can't take these fights when Fnatic forces them, then I don't know if your split push is just enough. Tier 2 mid is cleared out. We are keeping bot shoved in, but there's an avenue to go high ground now for Fnatic, and just have nothing to stop it unless Fnatic somehow misplays.
Just a casual Bristle with max Warpine's Warpath stacks at plus 600 damage. Love to see it.
Very
Cool hero.
balanced. 25 talent as well, with plus 25 damage per Warpath stack, so even more. Always feels good.
Bottom lane. Pose out. Armel and Jubs. They've run into Xavius. Jing, really not much the Rubik's going to be able to do. Has to make sure he doesn't feed his own life away. That won't be the case. It does force multiple heroes away from this siege, though. They are doing a good job to keep the side lane shoved in. Again, Natsumi down to bottom, just looking to be... What damn nuisance. Almost 25. Satanic as well, soon to be completed if he wants to buy out. Honestly, might be the play.
Just being able to stand and fight is going to feel good. And the split push is keeping Fnatic in check. They've always got to have one hero on their base, work out the lanes. That tends to be Armel. They need to puck around for the team fight. Without that coil, you're kind of just relying on a Cursor Black Hole, and you still don't want Jabs to jump in willy-nilly, even with that BKB and Lincoln. So, you're doing a good job in Polaris' stalled game. You're trying to push high ground out up against the Keeper of the Light. Just clears out the wave. And Fnatic find themselves in a deadlock. They want to use that Aegis onto the high ground, but they can't, because Lelouch just keeps blasting the waves with the Octarine up. Uptime of that is pretty redundant. So low.
Curse toss onto Lelouch on the Keeper of the Light. A lot of emphasis to shut him down in this team fight. The throwaway, it might be enough to keep Lelouch healthy. BKB, he's goddamn speedy. No way he makes it in the base. They get him. Raven just with the last quill, enough to secure the kill. He's deep inside the base though, but look at Jabs moving forward, trying to find the anchor with the black hole. He's gonna find it. It does get stolen though, Ching. Waiting in the wings, but he won't have any heroes to play with. No threat of the stolen black hole to jump back in. Jabs will be killed off, but Fnatic, they have claimed so much off the back of that team fight.
Now, there's still some play potential. There is buyback and Natsumi. If Jin finds the angle for the black hole here, it could be big and stalling, but the damage of Raven's just too much. Just clears through. No mana on the Bristle though. Starts to feel a little bit awkward, but it's still more than enough in tank to get this done.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Go feed your life onto tier 4 towers so you get your mana back.
Is under attack.
Who needs Aegis? Raven, you are a beast. Second life is not required, my good sir. Man, you want to spam QW, QW, QW. Natsumi?
Dire's top tower is falling.
Corner brace.
Oh,
alright.
no.
Natsumi's in a bit of trouble. It's gonna toss him into the middle. BKB will not protect you. Meanwhile, Armel. Oh, that is perfect. Deals with Jing on the back line, so they will not have the potential for this stolen black hole to be a threat to turn this one around. DJ again tossing Natsumi further away from their own territory. Another Bristleback can stand his ground. BKB going toe-to-toe versus Natsumi. That good job from Xavius though. Gets Natsumi back inside the base. He's gonna look to TP out. Sprouts up. Can he find it onto Armel? He's looking for the vision. Armel should be able to juke to the left. Meanwhile, though, they are hunting DJ down in the mid lane. The remnants of the T1 tower. They're going to have a way to be able to cancel this Jing from afar with the telekinesis. And Polaris, they will hold. It comes at a cost. Multiple buybacks are going to be forced out. But they do push Fnatic away.
And they hold on to their top set of racks. And they keep this game still running. And they have really good deep push. They have great ways of split pushing here on Polaris' end. So they can use this opening. They could try to go for a side lane play, maybe start to threaten high ground, force some buybacks out. Can't quite line up for the next Roshan. Still 3 minutes away until we see that respawn. And I want to point out, Ares, we did see Raven use their Spider Legs. Apparently you can walk over the trees, but every time you go in and out, I see the leash status go on and off. So it's a funny one.
They're not going to attempt this, are they? Jabs, he's going to jump in, but your Black Gold's still look good on my friend. So Midnight Pulse at least deterring them for the moment. He doesn't have the BKB to fight with afterwards. Never mind. First stun into the Jake control, but instantly Raven looking to jump in, buying some time for Armel so he can get the abilities off afterwards. And Raven just chasing them down one by one. They can't deal with this Bristleback. He completely breaks the formation into half, and now they can turn towards an Aegis Prophet off to the side. And Black Hole onto one. Goes Jabs. 4 down. A dieback onto Natsumi. And they're going to look to walk it down to close out this second game and hope to close out the series.
Yep. No way for Polaris to stop this. They can creep cup a bit with Nevermind in good position to get that done. So you can stall the process out a bit through the mid. Double damage rune still sitting there for Fnatic, not going to be picking it up just yet. They do have 2 siege wagons though, so not going to be easy to clear that out here. That should still provide the opening for Fnatic to go for the high ground, and it looks like they will go for the safe play, go for the racks first. Clearing out the bot here with the Raven. Have an avenue for top as well. I mean, you don't have Natsumi for a full minute 10. You have half a minute without Lelouch, which doesn't feel too bad, but it still feels like you're not going to be finding any openings anymore. We just haven't seen the big plays they need to pull out here. On Polaris, Fnatic have been very patient. And again, they're just going safe. They don't want to throw these opportunities out. Play smart, clear out top, go on to the tier 4s. We'll see if Polaris still has something in the bag here, but it's looking pretty tough here.
It's funny to watch. Raven, he had a double damage rune if he needed it, but he's like, no, I got plenty of damage. This hero with the warpath is goddamn dumb. And Armel, he's got that leash as well, piercing BKB at the level 25, and they are purely just making space. And well, now they maybe feel like they've got some time to get the kills before this one is done and dusted. Onto the Pango behind the throne. The G's are dropped, and well, for Polaris, unfortunately, that will be all she wrote for them, and they have now, unfortunately, been relegated out of Division 1. It's been a tough road for Polaris in this third tour, one that I'm sure they would hope they could redo, but for them, they do have still one more series, but that series is not going to help out with them sticking around.
Yeah, it's been a tough road for Polaris. Fnatic play really clean here, again, bouncing back from last week's loss. So they're looking strong. They're back in form. They take it seriously, no jokes around. A bit slower here in game 2. Polaris were getting some good aggression out. They managed to find some good punishment, build off the back to the strong start from Lelouch and Nevermind. But in the end, they had nothing to answer back to the Bristle. They had a break mechanic on the NP. They had that leash, which didn't do much for the spider legs, which is funny to watch and kind of busted, but they just couldn't handle them. And Fnatic played patiently. They hit these spikes on the heroes they need to, and Polaris just couldn't get too much done. They put up a good fight, but the circumstances for Polaris are just rough. They have Nevermind back in, but then Team V has to sit out. That doesn't help with a team that's already down to have to deal with that last minute as well. It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, a difficult position for Polaris to be in. We did see the second game, like you said, they put up a fight. They definitely were in the driver's seat for a decent chunk of this game. They were in a position where they had the potential to close this one out, but unfortunately, I think just the class of Fnatic really came shined out, and we saw that to be the case. Fnatic just being able to dominate game 1, momentum continued a little bit into game 2 once they were able to pick up the pace, and it's just difficult for Polaris with this Bristle back going absolutely god mode, and the rest of them as well, just fulfilling the roles they were requiring out of them. So for Fnatic, they're going to be able to take our last series of the night in 2-0 fashion. We're going to send this back to the panel, and when we come back from the break as well, we will have an interview with one of the lads from Fnatic.
Fnatic, they 2-0 this series, and I don't know what's the better feat here, Fnatic getting that 2-0 with a comeback in game 2, or just how great Polaris looked in game 2, especially in those earlier stages of that game. They were definitely looking like a completely different Polaris compared to game 1.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of impressive, like massively impressive, actually. I don't think anyone expected them to kind of play as well as they did for the first half of the game. You know, like mentally, it's hard when your team is kind of falling apart in general, and then you get stomped that hard in game 1. Like, for them to come out and be like this far ahead against Fnatic, who everyone thought to be like the best team in C, like that's great. Like, well played to them, you know?
Yeah, a little refresher for anyone who didn't see game 1. It was a 19.5-minute victory towards Fnatic. So for Polaris to actually be able to bounce back, really put up a phenomenal showing here in game 2 for that first half. Big props to them. For you guys, a standout for Polaris, someone that you think really enabled this early game pop-off.
It's gotta be Jing. It's gotta be, I mean, it was a lot of playing together from Polaris, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't just I was almost like, I'm not entirely sure instantly, because I don't feel like it was just one player. It was very much like a playstyle thing. They were just, I think, particularly utilizing the Coddle Boots of Travel just to always show up to the fights. Call out a really good early to mid game, playing alongside the Pango plus supports. I think Natsumi played a little too much by himself. Had a few maybe kind of silly deaths, particularly in that bottom lane. He died twice back-to-back, the first time while pushing, the second time keeping to join his team behind enemy lines, and just not playing around the BKB timing. Both those deaths were like pre-BKB when I don't think he should have been fighting, but yeah, that's just kind of pointing out where some of the things I think kind of unraveled for Polaris, but as far as the stock goes, they got. I hope a game like this at least gives them some renewed energy and motivation to really work on things as a team.
Yeah, hopefully. you did point out there just a few things that Polaris did wrong, but on the flip side, what did Fnatic do right and so well that got them back in this game? What was the stall out and what was the ultimate turning point for them for this victory?
I think it was a lot about IM timings. If you look at their lineup, they are very slow. Like you have an Enigma who wants to get like a lot of things. He wants a Blink, a BKB, whatever, so and so. You have a Tiny 4, like a Tiny Wyvern as a duo support is not that great. Neither of them have a lot of like high damage early without like items. Your Tiny one's a Blink. Your Wyvern, he's kind of chilling, but he needs like 6 in levels and so on. And your Bristle's your carry, so he wants to be in the Ancients, like farming up his Ags and stuff. So for the first like 15 minutes, it is actually quite hard for them to fight, I would say. So it was a lot easier for Polaris to sort of group up with their Rubik, who's a lot of damage. Your Natures can TP in at any point. Your Pango, he's got the roll constantly. Your Cole's got boots and stuff. Marty, like all these low cooldown rollers, right? It's just really hard to fight into that.
Yeah. Before we came into this game too, I asked you guys, what did Polaris sort of have to achieve, or what could they do that would give them this sense of, okay, we've actually done really well. This is a win in our books, right? What was that for Polaris? What did you guys see in game 2 that you want them to take away as seeing as a win for themselves?
Well, I said 2 kills, and they surpassed that.
Look, that was a bit too low on expectations. I think it was, for me, it was like, yeah, just fighting, playing a more aggressive game of Dota, which we kind of saw. I think we also saw what mid-Cotto can do. This hero still looks kind of busted. I don't think it was hit hard enough with some of the nerf hammer in the latest patch.
It's true.
I know I've seen some mid players say the same thing, so you know, maybe some future Cotto nerfs, but regardless, I think they drafted well, they played well, for the most part. Like they were definitely, you know, they were. If anything, you have to still point out players kind of through the game. Like the lead they had, they were favored to win it.
Yeah.
Even though Fnatic played it well, they were patient. They waited for their items. They waited for the mistakes, because the mistakes did come, and I think that's just a point where players are at where they still make a lot of those mistakes.
Well, it was fantastic playing for both sides of it, but ultimately Fnatic did get that win, that 2-0 for this series, and that means they also get a winner's interview, and we are lucky enough to have the one and only Januel joining us. Januel, congratulations on the win. Hello, how are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah. Do you guys, were you a little bit worried in game 2 there, or did you know that you had the game as it, into the later stages?
I think we know that we have that game already. We're just waiting for our timing.
Why
we
do
kinda
you,
crumble on the stacks, but we're good.
yeah. Why do you feel that start was a little bit rough in that game?
Because there's so much happening in the map. There's like chaos everywhere. Towers, stacks, all lanes.
There was quite a lot going on. I also wanted to ask about the SMG series that you guys played. What do you feel? We can see GJ in the background there. What do you guys feel was the big downfall, though, for you up against SMG the other week?
I think our match against SMG is not a real match for us because we kinda changed the way how we play or draft.
Oh, okay.
And we figured out already, so it's good.
Okay, what was that, the biggest improvement or the biggest takeaway from that series?
Sorry?
What was the biggest improvement or takeaway for you guys after the SMG series?
Cannot say.
You guys on Fnatic, you always having your secrets.
I wanted to know, I didn't really have any questions so much about the games, but as far as these games go, but as far as some of the upcoming games, you've got some pretty important ones. You got to play against Boom and T1. Do you personally like playing these teams towards the end of the season when they're like your biggest competition, or would you rather play them sooner?
I think we wanna play them sooner because we're kinda pretty confident going in the DPC. And we just wanna get rid of them already. Because they will be more stronger if the time goes on.
Okay. And as far as, you know, we talk about times going on, you know, obviously people are starting to look not at the major as well as the rest of the season, but also TI. Are you starting to feel any nerves? Like, you know, how you do this season as well as at the major could determine whether you go directly to TI or at the qualifiers? Like, how confident is your team's feeling? Like, yeah, and are you nervous at all?
No, we're not nervous at all. We just play our game and hope for the best. Maybe we can get the direct invite.
Cool. Good to know.
And you guys obviously stomped the first game of this series extremely hard. When you do that as a team, like, how do you move on to the second game? Do you have to take a moment to remind each other not to, like, get overconfident? Or is it just, like, good vibes, everyone goes into the next game kind of just chill?
I think both. We remind each other and then we still feel good about that game. And we just talk about the second game still. Just like winning or losing is still the same.
I actually had one more question. You guys obviously you have a coach you've been working with Sumbi for a while. What's he like? I feel like we never hear from him, and he's one of these coaches who's under the radar. What's he like as a coach? What does he bring to your team?
Sanbi. Pete, they're asking me, oh, what do you bring in the team?
Hey, you don't ask him.
I think Pete is the coach god. He do everything, even outside the game. He knows everything.
Okay, I'll ask you later when he's not around.
And he bring Jollibee too. That's why.
Good.
Awesome. Well, Janwell, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure as always, and congratulations on that win.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Janwell's always a good laugh when we get to interview him, so thankfully he got to join us there. Did he give you guys any information that you weren't expecting? Anything new come from it?
He always keeps his secrets.
No, no.
Some of these C teams are just like, all right, here's the exact heroes you need to pick to be our strat. Please go ahead. Good luck. Daniel's like, no.
Here's the cards close
it.
to his chest. Of course, I mean, he is coming up against Boom and T1 still, like you said. So Fnatic have a little bit of an uphill battle coming ahead, so we can see where they are on the standings, just how difficult it is going to be for them. And right now, they are tied with Boom. So that matchup is actually going to be really, really important for them when it does take place. But Talon out there on top with one extra win above both of them. RSG having one extra loss than both of them. Then T1 still having only played 4 series. SMG, NGXC, and unfortunately Polaris not getting the win in this series does mean they are 100% gonna be relegated down to Division 2.
Sad.
It is very sad. It's not surprising, but it is really unfortunate. Polaris have been a fantastic team to watch. They came up to Division 1 in Tour 2 last tour, and now we have to say goodbye to them. So anything that you guys want to say as some closing remarks, maybe to Polaris or just about the games today? It's a short SEA day, let's say that.
It would be kind of not interesting. Funny, not funny. It's kind of sad. But
oh my gosh.
At the current standings, it looks like Nigma and Polaris are going to get knocked down together, which is ironic considering they came up together.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're going with that now.
I couldn't find the word. I was like, it's sad,
it's just ironic.
Kind of ironic. It's a fact. It's
a fact.
I
think we'll see players get in Div 1. Like, to me, like, they honestly, the way they played and the team issues they've had, they don't deserve to stay in Div 1 based on their play this season, but they have enough talent and enough skill, and they should be able to me, crush Div 2.
Yeah. Okay, well, hopefully we do see them back in Division 1. But for today, that is going to be all of our SEA action. It is us signing off from Beyond the Summit. But tomorrow, there is going to be more SEA, and there is also going to be some Eastern Europe.